Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we'll mainly discuss about type conversions. Now, type conversion, you are already aware that some implicit and explicit type conversions are there for built-in data type. Okay. So, say for example, we are having some integer value, okay, integer variable, and to that integer variable, if I'm assigning, in just a moment, I'll open one notepad here. So, if some integer variable is declared a, okay, and then I'm saying a is equal to 10.5 or 4, something like that. So in this case, what will happen? Which value will be assigned to A? What is the data type of A? It is integer. Okay, so A will actually will be assigned value 10. Okay, though you are putting 10.4, but the data type of A is what? Integer. So accordingly, it will take only the integer part, and it will not consider the decimal part in this number. Okay, so this is the actual value which will get placed in A. Okay. Now, suppose sometimes no explicitly we need to typecast. Suppose this is some float value, okay, float, and in this case, will what will happen if it is if the value if this variable is of type float, okay. So in this case, what will happen is this a will actually hold the value 10.0. Though you are not putting 0.0, it will automatically hold it, okay. But now, say for example, some type of calculation we are doing. Say for example, some calculation is there, like result is equal to and a into b, something like that, divided by some c value and all that, and c value. And temporarily, for some type of calculation, if you want to typecast this particular a is maybe of type float or integer, any other type, like suppose it is of type integer, for example, okay. But for calculation purpose, you want this a to be treated as float, okay. So in this case, you can make this a to become a float value. This is what explicit typecasting. You are typecasting that you are changing the type of this variable a for this calculation only. So this is explicit typecasting, and you have to actually do it as a programmer. And implicit is compiler will do it for you. Okay. But now today what we are going to do is we are going to discuss about something else, that is typecasting between basic to class type, or class type to basic. That means what? Suppose this is related to built-in only, okay. The previous thing whatever you have seen was related to built-in data types only. Now what we are trying to do is, suppose here some class is there, a class is there, okay, and this class is having I comma j, for example. And then in main, what I want is, either I want a is equal to some integer value 10, okay, or some variable is declared int x, for example, and that x is holding some value 10. And then what I want to do is a is equal to x. So what I'm expecting now in this case, that x is what? 10. So somehow this 10 to be 10 to be used to calculate the values of I and j, whatever formula you want, but using this 10, I need to initialize the value of x, I and j, because I'm assigning this 10 to a object. Okay. See, for a object, I need to create some a object first. Okay. So here a object I'll create, okay, and then I'm assigning this x to a object. Okay, so what I want is this 10 to be assigned to this a object, but a object is having I and j. So to calculate I and j, I should use this value of x. Now how to do this type of casting? This is also casting, no, because this is integer and we are converting it to type a. Yes, type a, class type. Similarly, sometimes I may need x is equal to a object type of conversion. Either way. Okay, either this way or this way. So how to make it possible, or how to implement this type of casting, type casting? So this part we are going to discuss in this particular lecture. Okay, so first discuss about basic to class. Okay, basic to class is what? Just now first example I have given you, basic to class. So this X is basic and we are converting it into class. You need to read it in a opposite direction, reverse direction, because this value we are assigning to object. So basic data type, X is holding some value, and X is of type integer. X is of type integer. So this X we are putting in some object. So this is what? Basic data type or built-in data type to class. So in this situation, it can be implemented with the help of constructors. Okay, it is possible with the help of constructors. So how to write those constructor? This is the name of the class, and now to this constructor, how many input objects are there? Just one. Sorry, how many input parameters are there? Just one parameter, X, which is of type integer. So take it as input parameter, and then maybe this class is of type time, which is having hours and minutes as its member data. So hours will be calculated as X divided by 60. So this input that we are sending here, X is nothing but minutes value. Okay, total minutes. So if you divide minutes by 60, you will get hours. Okay, and the remaining minutes you will get by modulo operator. Okay, so remainder you will get in minutes. So this is what total minutes we are converting into hours and minutes format. Okay, so how to make this basic to class type of conversion possible, basic data type to class? Okay, with the help of constructor. You should have a constructor, take that input parameter and have some calculation. Like here it is relevant calculation for this. Okay, so have some relevant calculation and use this x variable or that value to assign the value for hours and minutes. Okay, so with the help of constructor, this type of conversion is possible. So similarly here also, if I want this type of conversion, okay, first we are discussing about what? This type of conversion, wherein this X value, some integer value we are assigning to object. Okay, so in this case, what we have learned is we should have constructor here. Okay, what should be the input parameter? Constructor मतलब यहाँ पे call होगा वो constructor. So input parameter is this X. So here I will have that X value as input. You can call it as X or any name you can give there to that variable. And then here you should have some conversion formula. So maybe for this example it was minutes, so we divided it by 60, take mod to find out the remaining minutes. But here maybe some other formula we can give ki I is equal to maybe X divided by 10, or if we want to double that value. Okay, so maybe double that value, square that value, anything as per the requirement of your application. You can assign the value of I and j as per the requirement. So again I'm using X, maybe it is divided by 2, say for example, or multiply by 3 times that value, anything that you want, any type of conversion you want as per the requirement of that application. This is the relevant application, you will understand with the help of this. Okay, so this is total minutes, and for calculation purpose I'm using total minutes here. So basic to class we are using constructor. Now let us consider the opposite example, class to basic. Class to basic matlab on the right hand side class object is there, and on the left hand side basic data type is there. Okay, so exactly opposite type of conversion. So in this case constructor we cannot have. Constructor के लिए you should have that object on the left hand side. Okay, अगर यहाँ पे left hand side में object होगा तो constructor, and if it is on the right hand side then you have to use operator overloading concept. Okay, which operator you need to overload? Now you want to convert this object into which type? Integer. So you need to overload integer data type here. Okay, as we are converting this object into integer type, we need to overload integer data type here. So how to overload, how to make operator overloading, we have seen with the help of operator keyword. So operator keyword, now what we want to overload is integer, because I want to convert it into integer. So integer, and then whatever formula is there, like this exactly opposite conversion I am doing here, minutes to hour minute format, and here hour minute format to total minutes I'm calculating out of it. Okay, so in object it is in the form of hours and minutes. Now I want to convert it into total minutes. So how to do that? Hours into 60 plus minutes will give me the total minutes. Okay, so this function will return what? This result that we have calculated, total minutes that we have calculated, and those minutes will get stored in y, which is of type integer now, because you are getting only one single value here. You are getting only one single value here, a, which is hours into 60, that is calculation of hours into minutes, and plus remaining minutes we are adding from that class. Okay, so here this operator overloading function we can use for converting any object value to any built-in data type, or any class to any built-in data type. So class to basic we should have operator overloading. Okay, so this is what we have seen. We may have class to basic as well as basic to class conversion. Okay, the rules related to that is it must be a class member. It should be declared in the class the way we are declaring it here in the class, like it, we should be declaring it within the class. Okay, if it is opposite, like here if I want to do it like x is equal to a object, so in this case what I need to do, is it possible with constructor now? No, because this is there on the right hand side. So it is possible with the help of operator overloading. Which operator to overload? It is based on the data type of x, it is integer. Okay, so where to have this operator overloading? Here inside the class in the public scope. Okay, so operator, which operator we are overloading? Integer. Okay, so this is how we can have the function. And here whatever calculation you want, so you can calculate the result is equal to now what we have done with I, we double the value of x, so here we'll divide the value of I by 2 to get that value reverse. Okay, and then j, what we did with j, so this is about a calculation. I don't know whether we'll get that result back. So because we have used it separately, na? No, we'll not get that result back. Anyways, but some kind of calculation will be there. Okay, here, and then you only track it properly, like how to get that value back. But here the point is that how to define that particular function. So this operator overloading function should be a part of this class A. Okay, it should be a part of this class. It should be declared in the public scope. Okay, and then do whatever calculation you want as per that application's requirement, and return that result back. Okay, but though we are not mentioning any return type here, no need to mention, don't mention any return type, simply say return the result. Okay, and this result is not declared here, so temporarily declare that result here. Okay, so this is what we have seen. This is for what? Class to basic type of conversion, class to basic. And for basic to class we should have a constructor. Okay, constructor and operator overloading. So based on your requirement, either you can have this or you can have this or both also. अगर आपके एक ही एप्लीकेशन में दोनों टाइप का कन्वर्जन आपको लगता है, you can have both also. So the rule says it must be a class member, which I just explained you. It must not specify a return type. That also I told you that it should not have a return type, though it is returning value, but do not mention the return type. And it must not have any arguments also. So no input arguments also. Okay, no return type, no input arguments for this. So this is the rule for that. Now one class to another class is also possible. Like we have seen what this is what basic to class, and this is class to basic. But one class to another class, like suppose you are having B object also, so B object equal to A object. Is it possible? Yes, this is also possible. एक type का object दूसरे type में, तो कैसे करोगे? Now you can use both the methods. Either you can go with constructor or you can use operator overloading. कैसे करना है आपको? If you are using constructor, where to have that constructor? Constructor कहाँ पे होता है? जहाँ पे आपके इक्वल टू साइन के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में वो ऑब्जेक्ट होता है. सो कंस्ट्रक्टर इफ यू आर यूजिंग इट शुड बी देयर इन द क्लास बी. ओके, अगर आप कंस्ट्रक्टर से ये इंप्लीमेंट करना चाह रहे हो, आइदर यू कैन गो फॉर कंस्ट्रक्टर और ऑपरेटर ओवरलोडिंग, एक से हो जाएगा. यू नीड नॉट हैव बोथ द थिंग्स फॉर दिस सिचुएशन. So if you are using constructor, where to have constructor in A class or in B class? In B class. Okay, whichever object is there on the left hand side. और अगर आप ये ऑपरेटर ओवरलोडिंग से कर रहे हो तो कहाँ पे होना चाहिए? फॉर ऑपरेटर ओवरलोडिंग, दैट ओवरलोडिंग फंक्शन शुड बी देयर इन A class. Okay, so that is the rule related to this type of conversion. So all these type of conversions are possible. Yes, either you can go with operator overloading function, or we can do it with the help of constructor. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending this.